Okay, good afternoon and good morning, or for wherever you are. My name is Nick Olson, and I'm the marketing manager at PredictWind. And I'll be hosting the webinar today. We have Kieran McMaster and Marlene Kleindert on the Q&A. So if you have any questions, they can answer your questions in the Q&A box down the bottom. Just click on that. They are two of our support team legends. So yeah, they're awesome people and can answer any questions you have. And if they can't, they'll get back to you later with the answers. So I'll just flick over to screen share. Okay, cool. So who are we? We're PredictWind. I assume you know that because you've signed up for our webinar. Just a quick intro. So our goal is to make complex weather simple. We realize that weather can be a pretty complex topic, and we try and take all of that complexity and distill it down into a usable form. And spend a lot of our time doing that. Anyhow, so I'll just quickly talk about models because it will be relevant to the alerts that we're talking about. So you can see on the screen here, we have the list of models that we use. And so a quick rundown, the ECMWF is the #1 global model in the world. You don't see it many places because it's a pay to use. So we pay money every year to have the license to display that data. It's very good. It's definitely the gold standard of weather models. Spire is again a paid weather model produced by a private company. One of the reasons we really like it is it's really great for offshore sailing. It will beat the ECMWF for accuracy offshore. And it has a really unique way of gathering the data that they put into the model. They have a nano satellite network around the world that gathers the data, and they feed that data into their weather model. And so nobody else does it that way. And so really good in remote areas because of the way they gather the data. UKMO, #2 global model from a National Weather Service. Again, very good, and sort of comes in not too far away from the Spire and ECMWF for accuracy. GFS, it's a bit further down the list, but everybody has it because NOAA produce it and give it away for free. That's why you see it around the place so much, is that anyone can access that, display it in wherever they like. Good reference, and it's great to be able to compare all the models. The PWG and the PWE, they are global models that we run, and our, again, good for comparison. Our primary focus with these is definitely shorter term modeling, high resolution modeling. So we need to run the global model to then be able to run the high resolution 8 kilometer and 1 kilometer resolution models, which give far greater accuracy for coastal situations. We also, regional models, if you're in Europe, we have the AROME, and in the US we have the NAM and the HER, which, the HER is a rapid refresh model, so updating hourly, and NAM is another good high resolution model. So anyhow, just wanted to quickly run through those because it will be relevant to what we talk about shortly. How you see the stuff, how you see your observation alerts. So we will be talking about the PredictWind app and the PredictWind website. If you are sailing offshore, going out of cell phone coverage, you would use the offshore app. We don't have alerts, observation or forecast alerts in there. So this is a the tool that you use when you're doing crossings or just extended coastal passages. And all the data saves offline in the offshore app. We have lots of webinars on that if you want to learn more about it, and any of our support team would be happy to help you out. So as I said, today we will be talking about the PredictWind app and website. So that's our forecast website. So all of those need a Wi-Fi or cellular connection to be used. A huge amount of information and data in the PredictWind app. And you can use that on your iPad, iPhone, or an Android phone, or tablet, and also on a web browser. So that's what we're going to be looking at today and using. So we're actually going to be using the website just because it's easier for me to display. But really, the alerts for me and my thinking in my mind are really for your phone, and because you've always got your phone with you, and so then you can be alerted to things. Probably more the observation alerts than the forecast alerts. So just so you know, this isn't going to be a super long webinar. It's really just more of a product walkthrough of a new feature. As it's new, obviously I've been involved with the design and production of it, so I know it pretty well. But we've only had it live for a week, so but by no means the world expert on it. Anyhow, let's crack into it. Oops, my Zoom bar has come into where I want to click on. Hold on. No, don't click on that one. Just there. Okay. There we go. I can change screens. So as I mentioned, I am in the PredictWind forecast website and on a web browser. And so this is the same as what I would see in my phone or on my iPad, which I have sitting there. And so it's exactly the same interface. So everything you do would be the same. We have the menu here, and this is where we choose what we're going to do. So everything that we do for the forecast and observation alerts is location specific. So for instance, I have some locations set up here. If I wanted to set up a forecast alert for another location, let's say it was somewhere where I might be going next week or whatever, I could add that location by clicking on here, add the location, and then set up the alert. I'm just going to set up. Let's change one to one where I don't have one. I don't think I think I delete them all. So yeah, we'll just use the location where I'm going sailing with my son this afternoon, or he's going sailing. Looks like they're going to get a good breeze. And yeah, so we will come down here. So where do we find our forecast alerts is under tools. And you'll see we have our other tools that we use in there. And down here, we've got forecast alerts. So I can click on that, and you'll see that because my location is Murray's Bay, it'll say enable forecast alert for Murray's Bay. So by default, that should be turned on when we come in here. So you can turn this is if you want to disable the alert at any stage, this is where you turn it off or on. So there is that. If I were on my phone right now, it would ask me if I wanted to be alerted on my phone and via email. So yes, I would want to be alerted on my phone. So that would be the next step here. So when do I want these alerts to be repeated? So daily would just mean everything else that I'm about to set up would just repeat every day. If I come over here to weekly, I can set up which days of the week I wanted to be alerted for. So say I only wanted to know, the days that, I might want to set this up for the weekends, for instance, so that I can be alerted if you know, the conditions for the sailing or windsurfing or whatever I was going to do, you know, were met. So I guess I probably should have started with why would we have forecast alerts? Really, it's so that you can use it for basically whatever you like. But really, you know, some use cases that we thought of is, let's say you have your boat in the marina and there was going to be some severe weather coming. You know, you might set it for above 30 knots average, and you know, and from a particular direction that you know that your marina might get hit. And so if you got alerted to that, you might go down there and just check that your boat's tied up nicely, because there's going to be some strong weather coming. And you could also use the observation alert for that as well, like, oh, it's actually happening. You know, the other sort of use cases is, you know, if you wanted to go fishing, for instance, you might be looking for really light wind days, and, you know, with low waves, or, you know, if you want to go windsurfing or kiting or winging, you might be looking for a particular direction for your, you know, for your spot, and you might want it to be over 15 knots. And so you can just be alerted to when those conditions are going to be found in the forecast, and then you can go and have a look at the forecast and check it out for yourself. How does it work? This is why I mentioned the weather models before, is it's actually taking all 6 weather models there, and it is averaging them for that spot, and then it's taking out any outliers. So let's say that there was one model that thought something was really different, it would exclude that, and then it would re-average them. So it is using all the models to give you the alert, and so it you know, when the criteria is met, there should be a fair amount of confidence in that. So you see there, I set up Monday to be alerted. You know, let's say I had Mondays off work, and you know, I wanted to go and do something. I wanted to go, let's say for this example, I want to go winging. So, and how many days in advance do I want to know about it? As in how many days in advance is the alert going to start pinging me? I like to plan things, so I'm going to stick it to 5 days. But if you just wanted to know what's going to be happening tomorrow, you could just do that. It would let you know, in the evening, it would let you know what's happening tomorrow. So you could do 1 day in advance. So then we'll come down here and we will set up our conditions. And so on one day, I want to be over 15 knots. I'll put a maximum in there, but I suppose I don't have any really big gear, so I might put 35 knots. And I want it to be, let's say I was going to, if I was actually going to this spot, I want it to be out of the north to east range. So I might put, 10 to 90 for my wind direction. Gusts, well, I'll put the same as that, but I'll put my gusts a bit higher, 45, just so I wouldn't want it to not trigger me on if it was a good day. Temperature, I'm pretty tough, so I'm not worried about that. Rain, we're not worried about rain. Wave height, yeah, I might want some waves. So let's put it into 0.5 meter to, well, I don't really mind if the waves are big, so it's never going to get above 4 there. Wave direction, it's only going to be windy if it's wavy if it's on shore, so I'm not worried about it. Wave period, if it was a tidal location, I could set the tide, for what I wanted it to be met if I was going to an estuary. So I've got all that in there, and I can just come in here and I can click on save, and you'll see it's my alerts been saved, and I'm now going to be alerted to that. So what happens when I get alerted? So if I do this from on my phone, I can get an in-app alert, as in a notification will come up on my phone, and I can also get an email. And so the email will be sent to me, and it'll tell me that my forecast alert was triggered, and it tells me what conditions I had for that alert. And see, it's not exactly what I had because this is one I prepared earlier. And I can just click through and I can view the forecast, and then I could add this alert, this time to my calendar. So I can click straight through into my calendar and add that time. Let's say, other people needed to know that I wouldn't be in the office, that I would be out on the water instead. I can just add that alert to my calendar, or just as a reminder to myself to go and check it for that day. So that is really how we would set up our forecast alerts. As I said, there could be, you could use this for anything. The rainfall, the cloud cover. You could even just have it set up to, do I hang the washing out today? Just it can let you know. So yeah, lots of options there. So observation alerts, this is something that I actually think is really cool. So this will alert me to, getting pretty excited with my zooming there, aren't I? This will alert me to a real-time observation when that alert is hit. And so let's say I'm waiting for a sea breeze to come in so that I can go out. I might be able to get the lawns done before I go out on the water, but the alert would tell me that all of a sudden the breeze is built because I might have set it for 15 knots and the breeze has come in. Another scenario might be that I know that there's a change coming, like there might be a frontal band moving through. I might be out fishing or out doing a yacht race or whatever I'm out there doing, and I might want to know that southerly front has hit. Let's say I'm sailing out. I'm in Auckland, obviously. Let's say I'm sailing out on this coast. I might want to know when it's hit over here, on the west coast, or whether if it's triggered somewhere a reasonable distance away from where I am, so that I know that weather's coming. Let's say I'm out fishing, and I know that front's coming, and I can be alerted that that's been triggered, and I know it's time to head in. Or if I'm in my boat and I'm sailing, and that's been triggered, I know that I might want to prepare to, I might want to get a sail change in before that hit, or something like that. So what do I do here is I come in here and I'm gonna run with the same scenario that we're talking about. I want to be alerted when this station here, which we call Manukau Heads, is triggered to a particular wind speed. And so I've clicked on that one there, and then I go save station. And once again, the default is on. If I wanted to come in here and turn this alert off, I can come in here and turn it off at any time. And so, yeah, I want it on. And as I said before, on my phone, I would be able to choose to get the in-app alert or the app alert, which is what I want because I'm moving around and I want to be alerted on my phone. Frequency. So how often, when this condition is met, how often is it going to let me know that condition's been met? So once it'll just let you know when it's met, and then it won't do it again for that day. But if I wanted it hourly, if I wanted to know whether that situation was ongoing, I could just have it. It was every hour it would ping me and say this, it's still above 30 knots or whatever. Yeah, there's, I remember a couple of years ago we had a particular weather event come through here that sunk some boats in the marina. If you'd had an alert set, you might have been able to check your boat. So that would have been pretty useful back then. Again, the same as in forecast alerts, do we want this to roll over every day, or do we want to set it for certain days of the week? I want to set it to just be for every day. But let's say I was doing a race on Saturday, I could turn this on for that time, in my race time. Have that in there for that time. So, I'm going to go for daily. Okay, and so this in here, so obviously we've just got the wind speed and direction. So I want to be alerted if it's over 25 knots. I don't really care about the maximum. Obviously, if I get 60 knots, well, I'm going to want to know about it. And again, I want to know if it's from the south. So I probably want it from 270 to, I've probably done that round backwards, but anyway, doesn't matter. Southwest is where that comes from out there. So I've put those directions in. It's going to alert me if that observation point hits these parameters, which it will start pinging me now, because I could see when I looked at the station before that it is. And I just click on save there, and it's saved that alert. And I can come in here at any time and edit these, and then just resave them. And what will it look like? So I can get an email alert, and it's just going to tell me that my conditions were met. And this is the email version, and I can also get the in-app version. So that is really how we use our forecast and observation alerts. A pretty useful tool, something that I use and look forward to using more. We've always had forecast alerts, so we've just improved them a lot here, and the observation alerts are new, and that's actually pretty cool to be alerted to predict things that are happening in real time. So that's pretty much it. I will stop my screen sharing if I can find the